Did you ever experience any like jealousy with your mom or like with any of your family? And did you feel like you were pushed to perform before you wanted to, or this is a path you always would have taken?
It's like so complicated. It's a lot of what Devon's saying. It's I almost always call you Devon.
You can.
Devon, because that's
my cooler name.
No, I'm not calling you Devon. Sorry. Let me do that little step.
Devaughan.
Devon.
Wait, what did you ask me again? I'm sorry.
Jealousy. You're
Was there
inquiring
ever
about
any like
jealousy?
weird jealous
Oh yeah,
aspect
so my
with
mother.
your mom?
No, my mother was so crazy and complicated. First of all, she was really smart. Like I said, she was really funny. She was an avid theater goer, very, very artistic, interesting. She kind of reminds me of Laurie Metcalf in that movie. Lady Bird, like really understood the power of giving back and being of service, well-traveled, liberal, a bunch of things. But manipulative, was not concerned about the happiness it was only if she was happy. She was not jealous of me, didn't know, but jealous of the other kids getting roles when I wouldn't, worried about if I needed to borrow like a t-shirt from a friend for an audition or something, she'd have me lie and say I wasn't going an audition because she was so scared that other kid would go on that audition. Like that's kind of a sense of her. But no, tell me about that.
No, it's just this sense of like, you know, like achieving something that we set out to do in a high functioning like way, right? Like coming out with something high vibing and then sort of like still like my mom would make little comments like to everybody like looks talent. I had looks, talent, and a figure and I gave them all to her and like I'm the reason sort of blah 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 and just like these little things at home where it's like you weren't looking out for my main good. You were jealous of the fact that I feel like you thought I didn't do any work. Like my family kind of just thought like because I didn't make my living by the toil of my hands, you know, that I was somehow like just like not worthy of the amount of money that I was getting. And I just always felt this thing from my mom that she just like wasn't in my corner, you know?
Honey, I'm so sorry.
She would always say, like the money started to separate us so bad. And that's when I felt like she wasn't in my corner. And she started to just be like all about like this money and like her own escapes as opposed to keeping eyes on me and being like, hey, you're taking thousands of dollars a month out of your account. Like, what are you doing with that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like buying a cocaine every fucking day and you're the one looking over my finances.
Oh my God.
Because you're
Yes.
doing something fucking weird with my finances too, you're not gonna fucking keep eyes on me because you're keeping a secret.
Right,
So it's like
right.
you just never had your best interest in mind, even though like
Which is already a weird conversation.
we moved out, not because of you, but I would have stayed in school, you know? Like there wasn't a part of me that was like, I have to do this. You don't understand. Like this is me.
Yeah.
It was like I performed at the school play because I was getting attention I wasn't getting at home, you know? Like
Yeah, it sounds like you know though that you've figured this out, that you've done a lot of work or you know that you've processed it.
And just like having compassion for my mom.
Yeah.
Because like I get that we were both just doing the best we can. And I think about like her being a single parent and like not having the support of like a good sounding board. Not that she would have listened to my family anyway, because my family was like, are you fucking crazy? Which drove a huge wedge between my family and I, because I was like, you're being mean to my mom. Also, I just want to make her happy. There was this point where like the trip almost blew up for us to come out here, and like she was beside herself. And all I could think was like, oh my God, I gotta like make her better. Like whatever can happen to like make this happen, you know? Because it was never about like, what do I want in the future? It was always about this instant gratification, happiness for her. You know,
what
like,
is your relationship like now? Like, have you both done acceptance work on this? I mean, it sounds like
I did a lot of work through AA
of course.
on it. I still say she's my most undeveloped in inventory. You know what I mean? You do an inventory on everybody, and she's the one who I did first, and I find it really hard to revisit.
Step 4, I believe.
Yes, indeed. And I find it hard to revisit, but now the forgiveness for my dad really helped, like finding forgiveness for my mom. I found this huge forgiveness for my dad. He hasn't really done much for me. He's been totally out of the picture. But
isn't that funny? That's such the easy way too, right?
Right?
I don't know if that's the thing with dads, especially when they have girls.
they're
but
just like, tell me about that.
I think, well, you usually often have more of a relationship with the same sex parent. I mean, I don't know. It's so complicated. And this is too, but it is good to talk about it. I don't know. I really feel like writing about it too. I don't know if you write. And then also Common Ground. Like I really recommend again, Jeanette McCurdy's book. Like that was so freeing for me hearing some of that. I was like, oh.
I wanted to ask you about that because reading it, like, we were growing up at the same time, but my experience with my mom was so different. My mom was looking out for my well-being. Her mom, it was all about her. Reading that was so painful coming from my perspective, but
Yeah.
was it, you said it was freeing? I would imagine reading that would be like harrowing, it's heartbreaking.
Oh gosh, no. I mean,
Seeing the similarities.
Yeah.
But you have to understand the validation of finally having that feeling that you've always felt bad about.
Or even just the simplicity of that we had, sometimes in this life, I don't know if we've not done enough roundtables, enough Disney After Darks, or what the problem is, but hearing just her driving to auditions from Garden Grove was like, oh my God.
Yeah, you said you grew up around there.
I grew up around the same area. Oh yeah, I had those long car rides with my mom. That's rare that other kids are going to auditions in Los Angeles, like on a daily basis, leaving school early. She would just make little comments like that made me feel close to her. And then she has done so much work herself that I was like, ooh, I should do a little bit more of that work. Or just the way she was able to detach but understand. And it sounds like forgive her mom.
That's what it is at the end of the day. I never want her to feel as lonely or as down as I've ever felt, although she has her own work to do and she'll find herself in those positions. But it's not up to me to, I don't know, I still really struggle with trying to parent her because I see her out just on her own and it's like my child, you know what I mean? It breaks my heart.
Sometimes I think maybe the only way to really get over it, sadly, and maybe I got this from the book too, is when they're gone. And I think that's because that's the title of her book.
Right.
And her mother was sick for a long time and she dealt with it for a long time. But it's like, I don't think I would have been able to do the podcast, Big Name Bitches, if she was still alive. I don't think I'd make a lot of decisions that I make if she was still alive. I think she would have been in my head and I would have been hated myself, really, really hated myself. And I did
You'd
for a
be
long,
hearing
long time.
her judgment?
Yes, I'd probably still be drinking and drugging for sure. And I think, and I don't want to blame that on her. It's obviously not her fault. I've done enough work to know that. But like I said, I'm writing a lot. I don't think also you remember the good things about them most because they're gone. That's kind of freeing too.
Wow.
But anyway, I don't wish anyone's life short.
No,
I want everyone to live for a long time. But mom. Oh, mom. I always do that.
Yeah.
Oh, mom.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I love you, Mom.
She's gesturing.
I love you.
For those just listening, she's looking down
I love
saying,
you.
oh my.
I love you.
Looking down.
That went over my head.
No, that way. You're tired, honey. They've been here for so fucking long, you guys.
Oh, that's
They've been
wild.
here since what, 8?
Yeah, they
I
don't know how
appreciate
many episodes we do in a row.
I get it. I get it.
Can we segue to the question on everybody's mind?
Yeah.
Since you grew up so close, is Orlando Brown crazy or is he acting?
I thought you were going to ask me about Raven's Home being canceled.
No, I held that
No,
one.
I know.
Or is he acting? Is it all a joke? Is he acting?
I don't think so.
No.
I'm sorry, there's way
No, we
too
want
much
it to
vigor
be.
behind
We want
that.
it to be.
Orlando be locked in though. I'd be like, it can't be serious.
He was always like that, though. You know, he was. You're right. There's a good point. It was all, you never knew what was real. And sometimes too, he'd just lie right to your face. I love him to death. I love him to death. And
you just have to laugh with him.
I know he loves me. And I know, we used to make music together. We had great times. We used to smoke a lot of weed together, But I think honestly, just because I think maybe a little bit, I don't want to misspeak. I love Orlando. I don't know if a little bit of brain chemistry has changed from drugs, but he was already kind of like that, already kind of, how do you say, out there, eccentric, always putting on a show, in some of the funniest ways. He is one of the funniest people. I said was because I don't work with him anymore.
Yeah.
But is one of the funniest people. And you know, he'd be like, these chains are real. He'd be like, my chains are real. My chains are real. Or, you know, like, tell me how much the diamonds were. And I'm clearly looking at fake jewelry. Just
Oh my God.
like, well, I don't care, babe. We make the same salary. What the hell?
Why are you
What
trying
the
to lie to
hell?
impress me?
I
What are
love
you
you.
trying to run?
I love you.
ain't gotta lie to kick it.
I care. Is this real weed or fake weed? That's all I care about. How many seeds are in the blunt? In the Swisher
my
Sweet?
God.
That's all I care about. Oh, I don't care about your fucking diamonds. Like, you know, that kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, yeah, you couldn't hone it in. And I don't know.
It's hard because those interviews have been internet breaking for the last 6 years.
Because they're crazy. He's hilarious. He really is
it's
hilarious.
wild
It's like
to
the
watch.
longest
Since
run-on
Major
sentence you
Payne.
ever had. And
Oh,
that's,
right.
Oh,
that's
yeah, they're
the-
run-ons.
That's kind of the, you know, if people are watching a train wreck, which is always a little disgusting. I really truly feel like when I watch that stuff, I think about it and I can't watch it. You know, like it makes me really upset. Like I can't watch the P. Diddy thing.
Oh.
I can't.
No, all of that is rough.
Yeah, I remember once seeing an image of the Twin Towers and somebody, you know, falling from that. And I wished I'd never seen it. I know you have to see these things, but like even in a car wreck, you know, I don't like to look. Anyway, it is amazing that so many people have. And I think it's attributed to, yes, he's crazy. Yes, we already know him and are familiar with him being a child actor, but also he's pretty fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah,
Always be funny.
I feel like if he could just put a parody spin on what he's doing,
I feel
he
like
would
if he could save
rebrand.
his life, if he could save his life, I certainly can't do it for my own sobriety, and Raven can't do it. I don't know, you know, his mother, Tiffany, I love her. I think sometimes parents even have to give up. I don't know. I don't know what his rock bottom is. I don't know if he's, again, so distorted. I think maybe he needs to be on drugs, needs to be on medication. I don't know, but I love you, Orlando. I love him so much.
Yeah, send him lots of love, lots of love.
Lots of
I don't
love.
care what you say, Devin. We're having him on the pod.